Two true creepy scary prison horror stories _ true scary stories, YouTube, English. Story 1. The Malevolent Laughter. In the heartland of America, a chilling tale unfolds. A young 21-year-old male, living in the quiet state of Kansas, finds himself trapped in a nightmarish web of horror on a fateful July 4, 2019. Working the night shift as a corrections officer in a maximum security prison, his life takes a turn for the terrifying. The night was sinister, the moon barely a sliver in the sky, as he stood watch over the most malevolent individuals society had to offer. Murderers, rapists, and the dregs of humanity were caged within the prison's cold walls. A twisted echo of the festive July 4th celebrations outside, he couldn't shake the ominous feeling that something wicked lurked within those cell blocks. As the clock struck midnight, a haunting sound pierced the air, a cackling laughter that sent shivers down his spine. It was no ordinary laugh, it was the chilling cackle of a witch, a laughter drenched in malevolence. Investigating, he found an inmate speaking to himself in tongues, acting possessed by an unseen force. The tension mounted as inexplicable events unfolded, darkness suffusing the very air he breathed. But it wasn't until a fateful encounter with a seemingly deranged inmate that the horror escalated. A struggle for survival ensued, as the officer fought to fend off a relentless assault with a makeshift weapon, the cold metal blade glinting with menace. The walls seemed to close in as the officer faced his own mortality, each moment a heartbeat away from being consumed by the abyss of madness. The echoes of that night still reverberate, a reminder that sometimes the darkness lurking within is far more chilling than anything the night sky could ever hold. As the dust settled and the chaos subsided, the young corrections officer was left reeling from the night's horrors. His wounds, both physical and psychological, marked a permanent scar on his soul. The very prison that he was tasked to guard had become a realm of dread, where the line between reality and nightmare blurred. Haunted by the malevolent laughter that echoed in his mind, he found himself plagued by relentless nightmares. Every creak of a floorboard, every whisper of the wind, seemed to carry the sinister cackle of that night. The veil between his waking hours and his dreams grew thin, leaving him in a perpetual state of terror. His life had turned into a labyrinth of paranoia. He saw shadows where there were none, and every interaction was laced with suspicion. The faces of the inmates he once oversaw became grotesque masks of malice in his imagination. He withdrew from friends and family, trapped within the prison of his own trauma. The officer's once promising career lay in ruins. The very institution he had served turned its back on him, casting him aside as if he were just another discarded inmate. Isolated and abandoned, he grappled with the aftermath of that fateful night, replaying every detail in his mind, desperately seeking a way to make sense of the madness. The courtroom became a battleground for his shattered life. As the assailant faced charges, the officer was forced to relive the horror, the wounds of his memory torn open anew. The scars on his body became a testament to his survival, each mark a reminder of the darkness he had faced and the resilience he had summoned. But justice, in its cold and indifferent manner, provided little solace. Even as the attacker was sentenced, the officer's ordeal was far from over. The malevolent laughter remained, an ever-present spectre, an insidious whisper in the dark corners of his mind. Years later, he would still find himself, startled awake, drenched in cold sweat, the echo of that cackle haunting him still. The once vibrant, young man was forever changed by that one night, trapped within the labyrinth of his own fears, forever entwined with the horrors of the maximum security prison. Story 2: Abandoned Echoes of Terror. Nestled in a forgotten corner of Europe lies a tale that reeks of decay and desolation. Within the confines of an abandoned prison, darkness reigns, whispering tales of dread that refuse to die. In the heart of the night, a pair of daring teenagers embark on a journey that spirals into a nightmare of their own making. The prison, a relic of torment and suffering, stands ominously atop a desolate hill. Abandoned by time and reason, its very walls seem to pulse with the malevolent memories of the souls it once confined. A nearby real prison casts an eerie shadow, as if the past and present melded into a twisted dance of despair. Curiosity drives these teenagers to breach the walls of the forsaken prison, their actions a defilement of forgotten spirits. Armed with cameras to pierce the darkness, they venture into the abyss, ignorant of the horrors awaiting them. The initial thrill of exploration quickly turns to a descent into the abyss, as every step they take peels back layers of fear. Through graffiti-adorned halls and dilapidated cells, they journey deeper, their path illuminated only by their courage, or perhaps their foolhardiness. Dripping echoes and the rustling of unseen horrors accompany them, as if the very air is tainted with the residue of torment. But it's when they ascend the forgotten staircase, a gateway to the upper echelons of fear, that the true malevolence of the prison reveals itself. Within dark crevices, they stumble upon rooms decorated with chilling images, each one a fragment of a sinister puzzle. It's the notebook, a testament to the living nightmares that lingered within, that seals their fate. Names and timestamps scroll across its pages, a haunting reminder that the prison's secrets are not confined to the past. Their desperate escape unveils a nefarious underworld they never anticipated. Confronted by enigmatic figures bearing swastikas, they realize they've unwittingly stumbled upon an illicit firearm exchange. Faced with threats and questions that claw at the boundaries of their sanity, they flee from the clutches of darkness and into the arms of uncertainty. The abandoned prison becomes a monument to their harrowing ordeal, a place where the echoes of terror refuse to fade, where the thin veil between curiosity and catastrophe has been torn asunder. The abandoned prison casts a long shadow over the lives of those who dared to venture near, its ominous presence a beacon for the curious and the foolhardy. The hill that housed this malevolent relic seemed to shiver with its own secrets, stories of despair and suffering that had seeped into the very soil. Deep within its decrepit walls, the echoes of past torments lingered like whispers in the wind. Every step reverberated through the empty corridors, as if the very stone walls were sighing in sorrow. For years, the prison had stood as a reminder of humanity's capacity for darkness, its cells once inhabited by souls that had lost all hope. A group of young explorers, drawn by equal parts morbid curiosity and adrenaline, embarked on a journey into the depths of the forsaken prison. Armed with flashlights and hearts pounding with excitement, they ventured through the dimly lit passages, their beams revealing glimpses of the prison's grim history. The air was heavy with a sense of foreboding, as if the walls themselves were watching their every move. As they descended deeper into the bowels of the prison, the atmosphere grew increasingly suffocating. The air seemed to grow colder, and the whispers of the past became more pronounced. The explorers stumbled upon desolate cells, each one a testament to the suffering that had transpired within those walls. Bloodstains and faded writings adorned the damp surfaces, a haunting reminder of the lives once held captive there. Among the group was a videographer, capturing every chilling moment on camera. The footage he captured would later become a testament to the malevolent energy that permeated the prison. The camera's lens captured flickering shadows and unexplained noises, sending shivers down the spines of those who would eventually watch the recording. As the explorers continued their journey, their confidence began to waver. Whispers seemed to dance on the edge of their hearing, their imaginations conjuring terrors from the darkness. A sense of unease settled in, the weight of the prison's history bearing down on their shoulders. It was in one of the deeper chambers that they encountered something that would forever haunt their memories. As their flashlight swept across the room, they stumbled upon a series of crude drawings etched onto the walls. The images depicted scenes of unimaginable horror, twisted figures, grotesque faces, and symbols that seemed to pulse with malevolence. The air grew still, and a silence descended upon the group as they tried to make sense of the chilling tableau before them. Their hearts raced, and an unspoken understanding passed between them. They were not alone. Panic gripped them, and they began to retrace their steps, their footsteps echoing like a drumbeat of dread. But as they fled the forsaken prison, a sense of doom seemed to follow them. The shadows that danced at the corners of their vision grew more menacing, and the weight of the past pressed upon them like an invisible hand. The camera's footage, when reviewed, revealed spectral apparitions and eerie distortions, as if the very fabric of reality had been tainted by the malevolent energy of the prison. In the days that followed, the explorers would find themselves plagued by nightmares, visions of the twisted figures and haunting symbols etched into their minds. The experience had left an indelible mark, a reminder that some places are best left untouched, and some secrets are best left buried in the shadows. As time marched on, the abandoned prison remained a sinister landmark, its dark history intertwining with the lives of those who had dared to step into its depths. Its walls continued to whisper tales of suffering and despair, a chilling echo of the past that would forever haunt the hearts of those who had ventured too close to its malevolent embrace.